Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hello, Michelle. Thank you for
Good to see
being
you.
here.
Yeah, I had to reschedule all my evening. I made a bunch of appointments with some millionaire people, and I'm like, okay, I have to reschedule. I'm doing Sarah studies. So,
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate that. Thank
yeah,
you.
thank
Hello, Lauren. Hello, Ashley. Ashley is still connecting the audio.
Hey,
Hello, Lauren.
how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I love your background. Is that real or is that the
No,
virtual?
I made it. I
Yeah,
made it.
that is so cool. You made it. That's so
Thank
cool.
you.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cool. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Marilise. Hello. I love your background too. Hello, Stephanie. I'm just letting people in here and I'm streaming to my Facebook. This is something that I am very uncomfortable right now. And I'm streaming here on Instagram as well because this is so in line with our topic today, our self-identity. And I'm very uncomfortable right now, so I want to be vulnerable with you, all of you, but I want to also let you know why I'm doing here for, live stream to the Facebook, not on my Facebook group, but on my Facebook profile that everybody can see it. Like right now, I am very nervous, but that's okay. I'm very
you.
excited. Let's change the word. I'm very excited. And thank you so much. Let's begin. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Can you guys see me? I don't know why.
Yeah, I can
It's
see you.
okay, cool. I can't see myself. That's so weird. I can only see Ashley's like name on it. But anyway, if
You
you
might
guys
need to
can see me,
change the view
I
to
did it.
gallery.
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
If I change the gallery, then all of the people on my Facebook will see you guys. Is that okay with you all? If you don't want them to see you, you can turn off your video. But let me try it so I can see you here. Yeah, then people can see. Is that okay with you, all of you? Yeah? Okay, cool, fantastic. Let's talk about today's topic. And thank you so much for being here. And for those of you who are on Facebook and watching this live, if you want to hop on, join us, this beautiful conversation. I put the link of the Zoom link just in the comment and or in the title of the Facebook live, because I know that, thank you, Stephanie, for letting me know that some of the emails when you register, they go to your junk email. So that you probably haven't seen the Zoom link yet. So if you haven't, go into the Facebook, go to your junk mail to find it, or go to the Facebook when I stream here that you can see it there. And today we're going to kick off our self-mastery day one. And first of all, I want to say that why is it so important to talk about this? And I'm so excited for all of you guys are jumping on here because it is so exciting for me to meet people who are like-minded, who want to grow, who want more in your life, even either it's like more success or more happiness, whatever that is that you want for your life. So I'm so excited to get to know more of you here. And so we have 3 days with each other. The first day today, we're gonna talk about what is really the success thermostat that I mentioned in the message that I sent to you guys, and also some of my messaging. And essentially, this is the self concept in a lot of people's vocabulary. They also use self-image. So we're gonna talk about what exactly is self-image, self-concept, and why is it so important to talk about it. If you want more success, especially, and if you want more love, self-image, self-concept is vital, is the thermostat for that. And then the day two, tomorrow, we're gonna start the same time. We're gonna talk about, okay, so what is my current self-concept then? If that is so important, if that is the deciding factor of my current level of success and happiness, what is my current state of the thermostat? And then day 3, we're going to ascend from there. We're going to help you to step into the most powerful version of you so that you can change your self-concept straight away. And I'm going to guide you through a guided meditation and visualization so that you can embody that version of you straight away, and you can take actions from that powerful version of you, not the current or past version of you. So if we want something new in our life, we need to do something different. In order to do something different, we need to be something different. And that is the whole embodiment of it. And this morning, I just hop off. I know that we have a couple of millionaire students here as well. The Millionaire is a program that we are part of. And we had this beautiful, beautiful session with our coach. And she was talking about the embodiment, like how important it is, because the information that I'm going to share with you, it is not new. You can just Google it. You will find so much more information out there. You don't have to listen to me. The most important thing is not to gather information, but to embody the information. And that is one thing that I want to share with you, that I was 15 years ago, 14 years ago, I embodied this material so beautifully that I transformed my life magically. Really, it was like magic, and it literally saved my life at that time. And I want to share with you today as well. And every day we're going to end with a song. I learned that from my mentor as well. And I have such a beautiful, such a powerful way to finish the session and also help you to stay in that state as long as possible. And I also learned that actually songs, they are one of the ways that universe is talking to you. So the songs that I'm going to choose in the 3 days is the way that the universe is talking to you through me, through the music. So if you, but I'm going to hop off Facebook and Instagram then because of the copyright thing. So if you want have the full benefit of the session, hop on the Zoom link with us, and we would love to see you there. But first of all, I want all of you to be in spirit first for the 3 days. I think that is so important. Every time that when I listen to my mentor, and I notice that if I just sit down here doing nothing else, just have the pen and paper or computer taking notes and concentrated on it, I will absorb the information so differently when I am driving the car or when I am doing dishes at the same time. Because when you think about like watching a movie, for example, it's a great movie. But if you're like scroll down on the internet, if you are playing with your phone, you will not enjoy the movie to the fullest, then for your benefit. So I highly encourage you to concentrate on this for those 3 days. It's like 1 hour a day. And the day 3 is a little bit longer. We have Q&A session there. But I would love for you to just stay as much in spirit as possible for these 3 days with me, because I just know that this information is going to change your life massively as well. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about me. I know that some of you already know me, and some of you don't know me that much, especially who are listening on the Facebook and also on the Instagram, and also why I'm here doing this masterclass, for free for you guys. So my story, I'm Sarah Briggs, and I'm a manifestation and mindset coach. I was raised in China. I grew up in China, and I came to New Zealand about 13 years ago. And when I was in China, I experienced this massive contrast. Like, so now, if you are not familiar with this language, the contrast basically is the darkness in your life that help you to grow. And I experienced a huge contrast when I was about 25 years old. So that was 15 years ago. I was in Beijing at that time. I graduated from one of the best universities there, and I was employed by one of the best employers in the world. And so my life looked really perfect from outside world. You have beautiful career, you are smart, and people thought that because I was very, very they thought I was social. At that time I didn't, but we're gonna talk about that today. And I had a beautiful, beautiful apartment. I rented it with my best friends at that time. So everything looked really, really great. But they didn't know that I was really struggling with a lot of personal obstacles. So at that time, I had eating disorder. I was binge eating every single day and emotionally overeating every single day. And I had anxiety every single day. I was so anxious, I couldn't sleep. And I think my record was like 2 hours sleep in 3 days, 72 hours. And I was like a walking zombie at that time. And I was kidnapped and sexually abused by one of my ex-boyfriends at that time. So I had a lot of trauma around that, around men in general as well. And so many health issues as well at that time. And I was depressed. And of course, I was living in depression of all of those things. And I remember that I was on a business trip and I was in this hotel after I binged for an equivalent of 16 burgers. So it was like 8 mooncakes. I don't know whether you guys know mooncakes. It was one of the Chinese dessert. This was a huge and very condensed, a lot of sugar, a lot of fat, and a lot of calories, basically. So it's like 16 burgers in one go. And of course, I felt so sick and I just vomited everything out. And I still remember the feeling of my knees on the cold floor on the bathroom. And I was just crying uncontrollably. I just couldn't stop. And like my salivas, my tears were just all over the places. And then I was just asking myself, like, is that it? Is that it? Is that all life has to offer? And then there was just one voice suddenly came into my mind. It asked me, who am I? And it was so interesting because up until then, I didn't believe energy. I didn't believe universe. Like those things were not in my vocabulary. In fact, if somebody tried to talk about energy with me, I just felt so uncomfortable. So no, don't talk about those things with me. Like I'm not into those things. And so when I heard that voice from just like nowhere, and I remember I stood up and I looked myself in the mirror in the bathroom and I asked myself, so who are you? Why are you here? Why are you on this planet? What is the reason that you are here? And I said, if the reason is that you have to suffer, I don't want to be part of it. I just don't, because why do I need to suffer in this life? And then luckily that I didn't really believe in that. So I chose to believe at that time that there has to be more to life than this, than just, binge eating every single day, feeling anxious every single day, living with my trauma every single day, couldn't sleep every single day. And I had to pretend everything was all right in front of everyone because that was the persona that I played in front of everyone. And then that really ignited my healing journey 15 years ago. And I came across this book. I even can't remember how that book landed on my laps. It's called Conversation with God. Like, first of all, I was in China at that time. This book is in English. And the version of the book that I was reading was Chinese version. Second of all, it has God in it. Like I am spiritual, but I'm not religious. And that at that time, God meant something completely different for me. And so I even can't remember how that book just fell into my lap. And I started reading it. And not just read it, I was really going within to ask myself all of those thoughts and beliefs that I held about myself and about my world, about the world. Is that true? Is that really that I am not worthy of love? Is that really that if I am an introvert, that I am shy, that I can't talk to people, that I can't have the love of my life? Is it real that if I don't have a thin body, then I'm just gonna die like alone forever? That was one of the like most scary thoughts at that time that I had. If I don't lose weight, if I am not that thing, if I am not that type of shape, then I am going to die alone. And so I started to really question all of those things and about myself as well, about my ability. And then fast forward 6 months after that, my eating disorders were gone. My insomnia was gone. My anxiety was gone. My depression was gone. And I manifested a lot of money to come to New Zealand to have this opportunity to have my master's degree. And the sexual abuse trauma, it took me a little bit longer. It took me another about 2 years after that to heal. But still, I know that is like one of the most horrible things that can happen to anyone, and I don't want it to happen to anyone. But I want to say that those contrasts, they really played such a vital role in my personal growth and in the life that I currently have. If not for those moments, I wouldn't be able to meet my current husband. I wouldn't be able to have beautiful children with him. I wouldn't be able to meet you guys today. So I'm truly, truly grateful for those contrasts. But man, at that time, it was really tough. It was tough, tough, tough. I was in that state, I don't know, I think like two to 3 years. Every single day was a struggle for me, but not anymore. And now I'm studying this material with my mentor and my peers here more in depth. And I know this material is going to change everybody's life. This material is going to change, especially kids. I think that the kids, they need to learn those things, how important they are, how precious they are from a very young age, so that they can rewrite their history. Because currently we are essentially running our life through the lens of our parents, through the lens of our previous generations, and not only our parents, but like our neighbors, our society, like all of us, we all play a very, very important role in this. It is a collective consciousness. It is not only one single person. And I truly, truly believe that my parents, they are the victims of the victims as well, because they were handed over by their parents and by other people of their beliefs, so that they handed over to me. So, but we don't have to stay in that victim mentality. We can really, really change our lives by creating our own reality. And so today we're going to talk about this life-changing concept at that time that I consciously and unconsciously applied. When I say unconsciously, because I only realized recently, since last year, when I studied this material more in depth, I was doing it, a lot of it unconsciously. I didn't really formulate it into theory, but I was doing it. So now I know what that is. So I want to really share with everyone and whoever resonate with this material and can change their life for good. And why I'm doing this masterclass, first of all, like I mentioned, I want to share this information to as many people as possible. And that's one of the reasons that now I'm on my Facebook profile to share this information, because I used to share it in my private Facebook group, which is growing, and I'm so, so grateful to get to know all the beautiful and badass women there, like you guys. And but while it is growing, it is not going to reach as many people as I want it to be. So that's why now I'm very uncomfortably on my Facebook profile to share this information. And also, I have my own program. So if any of you feel like you want to study this material more in depth, embody it more in depth, and to work with me, I'll talk about it at day 3, at the end of day 3. So if you have any question around that, stick to day 3 at the end of it, but I wouldn't talk about it in day 1, day 2, and majority of day 3. If you feel like you have enough information, you are able to embody it yourself, feel free to take all of those information, but please embody it. Do not just take the information and then do the same old thing, be the same old version of you again, because that is not how the transformation occurs. Transformation occurs when you really do the thing, be the thing that you want to be. So that is why I'm doing this masterclass. Okay, let's talk about what is really the success thermostat that I talk about, the self concept. So I learned this concept first from Eckhart Tolle. So he talked about the self concept, which is through the awareness that you is essentially is the essence of your being. So you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are not your emotions, you are this essence that living in this physical body and having a human experience. And it was so intrigued for me at that time, because in the past, I never would imagine that I would separate my essence of being versus myself. And when I said, earlier, I said that I was unconsciously doing the work. 15 years ago, when I was healing from all of those traumas, I was actually doing it. I just didn't know the language at that time. I had this profound awareness. I had a spiritual awakening at that time. And I was able to view myself from a distance. I was able to observe myself from a distance and disassociate myself from all of my beliefs at that time, and my beliefs about myself, beliefs about my past, this world. And I was able to step back and then reassess it without feeling attached to it. And then now, about 2 years ago, I learned the language self-image. Actually, before that, I learned it from Bob Proctor. That was probably about 4 or 5 years ago, when I was just on this journey of, I want more success in my life, abundance in my life. And then I remember that I watched one of his webinar or training, and he talked about the self-image. I didn't really grasp that idea at that time. So I just, listened to it. Oh, yeah. It's really eye-opening. It's really a new concept, but actually it was not new for me. It was just different format of it. And then that was it. So I didn't really pay attention to that. And then 2 years ago, when I started this entrepreneur journey, I read the book Psycho-Cybernetics.
Yeah.
Yes, that English words is always like a little bit tongue twist for me. And I learned the word self-image in it. And it talked about it is act as the thermostat of your success. So for example, if you set your room temperature 60 degree, and if it is 70 degree, it will automatically turn on the cooling mechanism to cool it down to 60 degree. And if it is 50 degree, below the 60 degree, it will automatically turn on the heater to bring the temperature into 60 degree, which means that if you think you're a person who has the ability to have this amount of success, no matter what that definition of success for you, it can be money, it can be abundance, it can be love, it can be relationship, it can be health. can be happiness, then you will always act in a way that is going to bring that result into that baseline, into that thermostat line. It's like, for example, the pilot, they fly the plane from Los Angeles to New York, let's say. They set the course, right? The autopilot course. If the plane is flying off the course, it will automatically correct itself. So the self-concept, self-image worked that way. And that's why it is so important. How you think about yourself is going to decide how much success you're going to have. If you think that you can only have, let's say, $10,000 a month, then that is what you're going to get. But we're going to ascend from there. So first of all, let's talk about what is really self-concept. Self-concept essentially is how you see yourself, how you think about yourself. What do you believe about yourself? And then when you have that belief, you will feel a certain way about yourself. And when you feel something, that is what is controlling your action. And then your action creates your reality. And that's how it works as a thermostat throughout your entire journey for your success. Hello, beautiful Yushkali. It must be really late there. Yeah, I'll talk to you very soon. Let's talk about one example. So when I think probably majority of us, 99% of us, like women, we all have this struggle with our appearance, our body image. If not most of the time, sometimes at least. So the reason that when I was telling you guys about my story, why I had an eating disorder was because I didn't know that I was beautiful by nature. Because all of us are beautiful by nature, but I didn't know that. I didn't see myself through that lens. When I was a child, I did. When I was a child, I did. When I remember when I was like 4 years old, I took a bath and my mom was there with me. And I remember I asked my mom, I don't know why I asked that, but I asked my mom, do you think that I have a beautiful body? And my mom said, yeah, you do. And I remember that I was like touching my belly, like baby 4-year toddler, they have like belly, right? And I was touching my belly and I felt so beautiful. I felt so good. And then when I was about 5 years old, my mom ordered some yogurt for me. So back then we were in China. It was quite, my parents were not wealthy or anything. It was quite poor. And we even didn't have like supermarket in the place that we lived. So my mom had to like order it, like make special order. So somebody will deliver the yogurt every single evening to our door. And she ordered it for my growth, right? For my physical growth, want me to grow and with love. And so I took the yogurt, I ate the yogurt, and I remember that one day, one of my neighbors, and we were very, very, very close at that time. All neighbors were just like playing around and talk to each other and be with each other. And one of the neighbors and grown up and was talking to my mom and said, "Oh, Sarah or Shangyue, like that's my Chinese name, put on some weight." Like I was 5 years old. I didn't know really what does that mean by the words, but through the tone that she said about it, it was not something positive. It was not something that was pleasant to anyone. So I didn't know what was it, but I just knew that I didn't want it anymore. So I asked my mom, I said, I'm not gonna drink it because I don't like it. And my poor mom had to drink all the yogurt for me because I didn't drink it and she didn't want to waste the food. And then I would be like, okay, now my body can lose some weight. And for God's sake, I was like 5 years old and I was thinking about that. That was so crazy. And then when I was in my teens, the schools, right? Your peers would just like talking about the who is thin, who is beautiful, whose skin was good, and who's fat. And then I wanted to fit in. I want to be popular at that time. So when I think that was like 13 years old, I was on my first diet. I even didn't know what diet was at that time. I just knew that if I didn't eat enough, then I could lose weight, like what I did when I was 5 years old. So I did that. So I didn't eat much and I lost a lot of weight. And of course, later on, it went all back. And when I was in my mid-20s, and again, those things happened even amplified in the workplace. So I starved myself, I treated myself really badly, and I lost weight, heaps of weight really fast, and then put on weight again, and then lost weight and put on weight again. I was just constantly on this yo-yo diet and put on and lose and put on weight again. And so that was my self-concept. My self-concept at that time was, I am not beautiful enough. If I don't lose weight, then nobody will like me. I wouldn't have a boyfriend. And I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to have a beautiful relationship. But because I had that concept about me in my head without even knowing it at that time. So that is the belief that I held. And the feeling that those beliefs stem from the self-concept was I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't feel good about my body. And then the action was that I was on a lot of diet. And then the reality was my eating disorder was developed. And another action or inaction is also a form of action. When I saw a guy that I really liked, I didn't want to go to talk to him because I didn't think that he would be interested because I was not confident, because I didn't really see myself as a person who was confident. And I remember that one day, because my best friends, we lived together, but they didn't know how bad it was. They saw sometimes I couldn't stop eating. And I remember my friend, one of them, was just like said, stop it, stop eating. And we were having a beautiful lunch with one of our mutual friends. And the mutual friend, a guy, was just sitting across me on the dining table. And I would just like constantly put the chocolate bar, Mars, into my mouth. I don't even like it, but I just like couldn't stop it. And then she's like, stop. I couldn't. Just my actions, I couldn't stop it. So that was how the self-concept of I'm not good enough, I'm not thin enough, I can't have love if I don't lose weight, that has developed all of those self-sabotage behaviors. And when we talk about self-concept, something that I want to really point it out is that your self-concept is not something like your age, where you're coming from, whether you're a mom, whether you're a daughter, whether you're a sister, all of those roles, whether you're executive, it's none of those. It's essentially peeling all of those layers into the core of who you think you are. So for example, I went to a networking event recently, and then everybody was just, having this opportunity to explain who you are, what you do. And then all of us were saying, I'm Sarah Breaks. I am 40 years old. I live in Napier in New Zealand, and this is what I do. I am a mom. Even sometimes when you're online talking to another person, you would say this as well. It is very, very helpful for other people to get an understanding of what your circumstances are. Yes, you have daughters. Yes, you have a job, you have a business, you are living here, you are living there, but it is not really the essence of us. It is not the self-concept that is going to determine your level of success. Because if you're 50 years old or 60 years old, you can still either stuck in where you're at or ascend to a beautiful place where you've never been before. You can have jobs, or you can still, have your own business, but you can still hold your self-concept. So I learned this beautifully through my mentor. And I remember that she asked us, she said, tell me who you are. Majority of us would just say, like what I just said, I'm a mom, I live in New York, or I live in Los Angeles, I have a business, I have a degree, this and that. But that is really not your self-concept. Your self-concept is something like, I'm gonna show you guys. I have this written out, one full piece of paper, who I am, my self-concept. And I read it every single day, at least 2 times, sometimes more. And it is mostly start with I am something, not I am in my role. No, not like I am a mom or I am a sister, nothing like that. It is something like I am inspired. I am inspiring. I am a woman who firmly believes in her own power and ability. I am driven. I am purposeful. I am motivated. I am bold and daring. I am laser focused on my dreams and my goals. Those kind of thing. Those kind of thing is never gonna change. It's only gonna evolve when your circumstances changes. But you don't have to change those essence of who you are, your self-concept of you. So for example, when I started this entrepreneur journey, I really wanted to be successful, right? And I started to listen to a lot of successful people. What do they think are the most common personalities or personal traits of a successful person? And then I would compare myself with that person. Am I having that or am I not? Am I seeing myself having that or am I not? So for example, one of the successful personalities that I learned through all of those successful people is that they take risks. None of those people who are hugely successful, they are very conservative about taking risks. And I used to be a person who loves safety, especially when it comes to money, when it comes to career, because that was all I knew. That was all I was taught by my parents as well. Like my mom and dad, they had one job, working for one employer for their whole life. And that speaks a lot of truth about it, why I thought it that way, why I felt about myself that way, that I didn't see myself as a person who could take risks because of my circumstances in the past. And then I told myself, or I asked myself, what if I just take a risk now? What if I can take risk? And then everything just changed. Then I took the leap of faith and I quit my job 2 years ago and I pursued my entrepreneur journey. It was so scary. I'm not gonna lie, it was very scary. I still remember the day when I typed my resignation to my boss. I almost vomited, like no joking. I almost vomited because I was so uncomfortable. It was so not me, not the old version of me, because the old version of me would never do that. The old version of me would, like my parents would taught me, have a good education and find a good job, stay in that job, try not to get fired. And that was me. And then now I had to make the decision to get rid of this, safety, the salary every single month coming into my bank account. Like I don't even have to worry about that. It was huge for me. It took me a great 3 months to really shift my self-identity, because at that time, even after I quit my job, I didn't see myself as an entrepreneur. Not totally. I wanted to, but not totally. I still saw myself as an employee. So I would sometimes like, oh, what if I just go back and, do my old thing, do my old job and just, apply for a job and have a steady income. I don't have to worry about it. Because if you guys are entrepreneurs, right? And you guys know that the journey of the ups and downs is like a roller coaster. Seriously, sometimes it's so, so good. Feels like, oh, everything falls into the right places. And sometimes like, oh, nothing's working. And it was in those moments, especially at the beginning when I was building the business, I was building it almost from the ground. Like I had no idea masterclass. I had no idea how to talk to people in public. I remember the first time when I delivered a free training in my group at that time, I had to write down every single thing, every single word that I was going to say, because I didn't see myself would be confident enough to say everything that was necessarily at that time. But now I don't do that anymore. And I see some of your comments and questions. I'm going to answer that. It took me really a good 3 months, I would say, that I remember I was on the way to drop my daughter to the school. And I just all of a sudden, just like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing the entrepreneurship. I'm being an entrepreneur. Like at that time, I shifted. It was a gradual shifting, but I was no longer thinking from an employee state of mind, self-concept, self-identity, but I shifted to the identity that, you know what, I am a business owner now. This is what I do. This is who I am. And then my feeling after that was very different, because in the past, at the beginning, I was always looking into, oh, maybe I'll just in case, I'll just, apply for a couple of jobs. Just in case I downloaded the app of looking for jobs, the app. And then when I shift that identity, I deleted it. I was like, no, this is not me. I'm going all in. This is who I am. Let me see some of your comments and questions. So powerful. Oh, thank you, Lauren. Thanks for you're so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Michelle, agree. Oh, thank you, Michelle. How did you overcome the self-doubt? Oh, this is direct to me. Is that okay if I answer here, Michelle? Yeah.
Yeah, I just, when you were explaining that, when you left the comfort of the employer and you went to, before that shift, because I'm sure you had days of what am I doing? I mean, the whole self-doubt thing. So
Yes.
how did you overcome that?
That is such a beautiful, beautiful question. The answer is probably not what you want to hear. I still have self-doubt till this day, just less and less time stuck in it. It was a gradual transition, not like overnight. But what I would say really helped me was at that time I had this coach. He has a group of coaches, and I was in this program. His program was so good, and he has this unwavering belief within himself and in us, every one of us. And I have to say, it was because of that I really took the leap of faith. If I didn't sign up for his program, I probably would still be employed. But I had so much faith in him. I had so much faith in his program, in his belief in me. I didn't have faith in me at that time. No, but I borrowed his faith in me, and I took the leap of faith. And then gradually I started to build faith within me. And I remember that within the 3 months of the entrepreneurship, it was just like I felt like I did everything I was taught. I felt I was, working so long hours. Like for those of people who, I don't know, like a lot of coaches on online, talk about, oh, the entrepreneurship was just eating or drinking martini on a beach and then just like 2 hours a day, maybe at the end, like a later stage of the entrepreneurship, but it's not at the beginning of the entrepreneurship, not at all. But I have to say that I fell into that at that time. So I thought, if I do whatever they told me to do, then I will have that life again. So I was naive at that time. And then when the reality hit, when I did everything that I was taught, everything that I was told to, and I worked long hours and I pour my heart and my soul into who I was serving at that time, and I didn't get the results at that time, I was crushed. I was crying every single day because I was like, what am I doing? There were moments that I asked myself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I was so comfortable working for my 9 to 5. My coworkers were all amazing, and the organization I was working for was amazing. Why am I doing this to myself? And one night in the middle of the night, it was not in the middle of the night, it was like pitch dark here, but there was nobody on the street. I went out on my own, and I remember I just talked to the sky, to the universe. I was like, universe, tell me, what do you want me to hear? Why am I not getting the result? I'm doing everything that I can right now. And I was like, I'm listening. Tell me what I need to do. And then I just every day have that self-doubt. And then eventually I chose not to stuck in there. I choose to grow and evolve from there. And it was really, really helpful that I had a group of women, peer coaches that who were so empowering. And we still, have like beautiful friendships with some of them still till this day, that I could just go to them and say, I am really having a tough day. I'm so scared right now. And I would just tell them how I feel. And because majority of them had the same background, like we were working for corporate, but we wanted to um, do something more for the society, for the world. And that was our calling. And then they really understood that what I was being through. So they were talking to me, especially one friend, my dear friend. She was on the phone. She had the same experience right before I had that experience, and she would just being able to talk me out of it. And it was a lot of tears, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of asking myself, what the heck am I doing to myself? But essentially, I think that is the journey of the growth. We have to go through that in order to get out of this. Even till this day, I still doubt myself at times, not as much as before, but I still have those moments. But just right now, I have more tools to get myself out of it. And like all of you probably already know that this self-growth journey is not a sprint. It's not like, okay, I sprint, this 6 months in this program, and then that's all the answer I've got. And then now I can just sit back and then feel comfortable. No, it is a marathon. It is a lifelong marathon, and we are always, always doing this work. I have to say that 15 years ago, I had this huge, huge quantum leap in my life. And then my life was good after that for a few years. But then I went to a little bit um, recession, how to say, the recession of my life, because I felt comfortable. I didn't push myself to go out of the comfort zone again until um, when I was having my first child, my daughter, and I started to ask myself, who am I again? I asked myself, why I am here. And then I started to learn different things and learn different aspects, essentially aspects of myself. That is the most important thing, to heal the relationship with myself and see what I'm capable of. Because we are all capable of infinite things. Really, we're all having infinite potentials. Our capability, innate capabilities like the ocean, is like so expansive. And there are so many that we don't know about it. But our self-concept, our self-image is like this little bucket or this little spoon that we think we're able to get from there. So we use the spoon, go into the ocean to scoop out, okay, this is a success that I'm gonna settle for. And guess what? That is the success we're gonna get. There is never a dull moment on the entrepreneur journey. Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate your transparency and vulnerability. You are so welcome, Dana. Yes. I think being transparent is really one of my strengths. That is how I see myself. Being vulnerable and being authentic, that is always my strength. I think in the past, I thought it was a weakness in the past. So 15 years ago, Sarah, I would not talk about my eating disorders. Like, no, like I mentioned, my friends, they lived with me. They didn't know about it. I wouldn't talk about my sexual abuse at that time. I wouldn't talk about, I don't think like anybody probably know it, but now I'm on the Facebook profile, like my family, and they would know about it. And that is one thing that I talk about at the beginning of this session, why I decided to go on the Facebook, my profile, so that so many people can see it. I felt really uncomfortable. I didn't see myself as a person who can go this public about who I am, what I've been through in this intimate setting. Like I did post something, like write it on words, but say it directly in front of people, it's a very different experience. And I even right before I jump on this call, I had this self-doubt. Michelle, we talk about self-doubt. I had this self-doubt. Should I do it? Should I not? Maybe I'll just go back to my Facebook group, talking there. And then I asked myself, who do I want to be in this moment? Do I want to be a person who hide behind, it is beautiful to talk to my group on this, but what is really my intention then? If the intention was that I wanted to hide in a group, in a private group, so that I'm not putting myself out there, then that is not the energy that I want to have. If it is, you know what, yes, I think it is better to serve in a very small setting, then yes, I should do that. But my self-talk at that time was like, don't go there. Like what people would think of you if you say all of those things, what people would talk about you after that. And I feel a little bit uncomfortable still right now, but that is the growth. That is how I can change my self-identity. By changing my self-identity, by changing how I think about myself, how I see myself. I see myself as a person who can do hard things, who can get out of the comfort zone, who can get comfortable of being uncomfortable. That's how I see myself now. And that's why I'm doing this. You see how we see ourselves, our self-concept, they all eventually contribute to um, to your eventually your actions and your reality. Hello, Isabel. Just in time. And I know that I have so many things that I want to talk about, and we are almost there. But I hope this session has given you some examples and great points about what is self-image and self-concept, and why is it so important to change your life? If you have any question, last minute question, feel free to ask me. After that, I'll play the song. I will stop streaming on the Facebook because and also Instagram because the copywriting is not gonna allow me to play that. Let me just have a look whether anybody on Facebook has any question as well while waiting for you guys. Okay, I have some beautiful, beautiful comments on Facebook. Oh, no worries, Tammy. No worries. You can watch the replay. The replay will be there. What business do you want? Famida, maybe you're I am reading your comments now. Famida, what business do you want? What do you mean? Do you want what business do you run? Do you mean that? I am running a mindset and manifestation business right now, teaching people how to change their lives through shifting their mindset and also manifestation. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Michelle. I think the more authentic that we are, the more that we will get out of this growth as well. So it is also for me, for this journey. And thank you so much all for tuning in here. I'm going to stop streaming on Facebook and stop streaming on Instagram. I'm gonna play the song with you guys. Okay, so this song is called I Am Already Enough. I Am Already Enough. It's such a beautiful, beautiful song. And it's a beautiful picture here as well. So I'm gonna play this with you guys.